All right. So first and foremost, let me say good afternoon from Romania. And secondly, let me kindly thank the organizer for providing this opportunity to present the results of our research in this online format. Together with my colleague, Kathleen Welsh from the College of Business at the Texas A&M University, we performed a research related to strategy and performance. And more precisely, we were interested in finding out if there is any connection between these two variables. And moreover, we were also looking at the mediating role that CSR plays on this relationship. So therefore, today's presentation is structured in the following manner. There are four parts of it, and I will go directly to the literature review part, to the theoretical background of the paper. So could you be so kind and move the slides to the theoretical background of the paper? When we started at looking at these relationships, we actually found out that there is a lot of evidence for supporting the relationship between strategy formulation and performance. Moreover, the studies that we looked at were actually pointing towards a direction which basically shows the positive impact that strategy formulation has on performance, and this was proved to be right both in terms of both in the industrial organization theory and also in the research-based theory of the firm. So clearly, there is no doubt about this relationship between strategy formulation and performance. Moving on to the next relationship that we analyzed in our research, that one was related or was linked to strategy formulation and CSR. And here as well, we were able to find actually studies that were addressing this relationship, and the scholars were pretty confident that those companies who follow a strategic approach and those who actually invest in the long run, right, and those who have a long-term vision for the organization will highly support the CSR activities. You may move on to the next slide, please. All right, and one more, which shows the results of our work in terms of literature review related to this time CSR and performance. And here we must say that there are some contradictory results in the theory related to both strategic management and also to sustainability. According to the neoclassical view, CSR activities come with a cost. So they imply several costs. So therefore, one proponent of this theory will come and will say, well, there is this negative impact that CSR has on firm performance, right? If you do involve in activities like corporate social responsibility activities, that will that will have a negative impact on your financial results. Whereas on the other hand, the stakeholder theory assumes that CSR activities are actually enabling the progress of the organizations. And the moment the companies realize this, the moment they start to invest in these kind of activities, on the long run, the companies expect the payoffs of these and expect to have better position on the market. They are better viewed by the consumers, and at the end of the day, the consumers will be happy to pay more for these products offered by companies that involve in CSR activities. Lastly, the mediating role of CSR activities on the relationship between strategy and performance was very little addressed in the literature. In that sense, we looked at the corporate social responsibility theory, and we actually tried to postulate that this is actually a relationship that will be identified or highlighted in the results of our study. That being said, I would like to show you our research model that we tested. So if you're kindly enough to go to that slide that shows the research model, I think it's the next one. Here it is, and here we can see our proposed research model based on the findings in the literature, based on the gaps that we identified in the literature. And starting from there, we made several hypotheses. The very first one says that there is a positive link between strategy formulation and firm performance. The second one looks at the relationship between strategy formulation and CSR. And again, based on the existing findings, we said that strategy formulation will have a positive impact on the CSR activities. Then the third hypothesis was formulated, and this one was defined as corporate social responsibility activities that have a positive impact on firm performance. And lastly, the fourth hypothesis, we said that basically CSR activities mediate the relationship between strategy and performance. So in order to test all these four hypotheses, we underwent a research, and I'm going to tell you a few words about the methodology itself. So I will ask the colleagues to move to the slide with the research methodology. Because we wanted to check these relationships, we used a pre-existing and we used the pre-existing questionnaire, one that has been validated in the literature, and one that incorporated all these variables that we were interested in. So therefore, we used this questionnaire, and we applied this questionnaire to a final sample of 67 companies from Romania. And these companies in Romania were coming from the manufacturing, both from the manufacturing and service sector. We included both large companies and small, medium-sized companies in this sample. And in order to test the hypotheses for the data analysis, we utilized the Smart PLS software, and we used the path analysis. So structure equation modeling is reckoned to be extremely useful, especially when you are working with most samples like ours. Moreover, very many of the of the studies that are done within the strategic management field use smaller size samples, and this analysis basically is done in two steps. If you go to the results, I could speak briefly about these results, and I could also show you this two steps analysis that we performed. So this is the research methodology. You need to move forward with the presentation, with the slides. And I'm going just to highlight, okay, briefly what we've done in the first step, where we tried to perform a measurement of or an assessment of the measurement model. Right, this is the first step, which is recommended in this kind of analysis. So we check for the validity, we check for the reliability. And we perform these tests in Smart PLS, and we were able actually to demonstrate and to show that the questionnaire that we used and the variables and the items that we used were reliable, and the whole model was valid. And then in the second stage of this analysis, we tried to test our hypothesis, right? And I think I do have a slide which summarizes the results of this analysis. It is called results number 3. If you go to that one, you will be able to actually see that based on the structuring equation model analysis, we were able to find support for all those 4 hypotheses that we defined in the beginning, at the very beginning of our research. And now I would like to refer a bit to these results, and giving the time, giving the fact that we are a bit running out of time here, I would just like to stress out two of these findings, which we found to be the most important. The very first one refers to the relationship between CSR and performance. Remember, the literature is quite inconclusive, right, when it comes to this relationship. There are these 2 schools of thoughts that basically contradict themselves, not being able to find a common ground. Now, according to our results, we saw that CSR has a positive impact on the company's performance. So basically, this result is in line with the stakeholder theory of the organization, of the company, that postulates that companies who found resources, their necessary resources, right, to invest in CSR activities, that invest in their local communities, will be able to reap up the advantages of these actions. And the second, I would say, the second important finding refers to the mediating role that CSR activities play on this relationship between strategy and performance, right? And our explanation for this finding was that strategy, the decision-making process referring to strategy, is is basically combined or formed out of two phases. One is the strategy formulation, the other one is strategy implementation, right? And strategy formulation is rather a cognitive process, right? Whereas strategy implementation, where one could actually identify and include the CSR activities, is rather a process which implies actions from the companies and from the managers of these organizations. Now, in terms of the conclusions, I would like to point out some limitations of this study, and I guess yeah, you can actually skip this part because I've already covered, and you can just go directly to the conclusions. I would like to point out the limitations of this study. The very first one is related to the sample size, right? It's a small sample size. The second limitation of this study refers to the fact that we use this questionnaire, right? That was basically addressing solely companies from a single market, which and therefore the results might be biased in the sense that they are influenced, or they are specific to this context. Therefore, we would invite, right, researchers who are interested in conducting further research to actually extend this study to a larger sample. Why not include more companies from diverse contexts, from different contexts, from different countries. We believe that in this sense, this analysis or these findings that we have could be actually demonstrated on for a larger scale. Thank you so much for listening to me. And I'm looking forward for any questions that you might have about our paper and the results of our research. Once again, thank you.